The Nether Spider 2.0, she's a lot harder now. In today's video, we're going to cover the team that I used to get it done. In fact, I tried a whole bunch of different teams and we came down to a very simple conclusion that you can actually still do this relatively easy. You need a core set of champions. We're going to cover those, where I'm going to show you different builds as well that you can use. Before we do all that, we're going to also quickly go over the champions that I apparently missed yesterday. So all that said, let's jump right into today's video. Before we get started, let me quickly remind you guys about Game On. This is a new platform from Amazon to showcase your video game clips, alright? So make sure you follow and you install, because starting next week, I'm probably going to have a giveaway specifically for this, and you need to follow for that, alright? Now, on to the new other champions, which apparently were not here when I covered this yesterday, so it kind of looks like I missed a whole lot of them. I'm obviously not going to cover them all, but I will point out some of them that look absolutely amazing. This guy right here, Gem Curse, he starts with block damage. That's kind of really interesting, might be really tough to kill. We got Cardial here, which also looks sort of like Astralon. I'm thinking they're going into down this phase of like angels versus demons type of thing, where he's going to like true fear against specific factions. And on top of that, he has a remove all debuffs and block debuffs on a 3-turn cooldown. That is absolutely insane. So obviously there's a couple more here to cover, guys. You guys are more than welcome to go check it out. I don't want to spend much more time on this. Now on to the Nether Spider. So here is yesterday's Twitch, where I did it for the first time on manual with the team that you see here in the background, all right? And it took about 5 minutes and 53 seconds to get it done. But since then, I've started trying other teams, such as this one right here. What I couldn't find yesterday was a champion that had a heal reduction. Literally heal reduction aside from Cold Hearts. I was like, man, I don't even have one. It turns out I do. It's a Skull Crusher. So I thought I would put him in there along with AoE champions such as Sal the Drakes, and of course our very trusty Drexstar, which is now very good for this. So if you have to deal with the Spiderlings, now it makes a lot of sense to use HP Burn, but you have to be able to mitigate the damage of the poisons and basically heal through them. So Mossily Mage here is huge, and then there's obviously another one which is a rare champion that's also quite amazing for this. And I had a good heal A1 champ, which is Lugan the Steadfast. So I threw this in, and this was my first attempt at a full auto run. So let me go quickly over here the boss fight itself, all right? So we do start by taking that AoE damage, so that's not perfect, but you kind of have to deal with that. And then you are able to cleanse that, but unfortunately, Mossily Mage by himself is not quite enough to be able to mitigate all of this, so which is why I have Lugan the Steadfast, but I'll tell you right now, you could be using Reliquary Tender, and I will show you a build with that champion specifically, which is level 50, by the way, all right? So even less requirements to pull this off. So let's keep going here. We do get the HP burn on basically all the Spiderlings, which is what we want. That's going to deal the majority of the damage to this boss, all right? So as long as you're able to survive, and we do have a Reviver, which is Sal the Drakes, but if you swap Lugan the Steadfast for Reliquary Tender, you have yet another Reviver, all right? So that can come in pretty handy. And then basically this is it for the entire fight, and that was my, like I said, first attempt at full auto in 7 minutes, which is not too bad. But then somebody figured out, and that somebody is a moderator on my Discord channel, that you can actually 4-man this fight as it is right now. Will this work later on? Maybe not. Probably you're going to need a lot better gear, but in this case, we know that HP Burn is the way to kill the spider with the Spiderlings, right? So we keep Drexstar, we keep Sal the Drakes, plus she's strong affinity. She has a relentless set, therefore a lot of heals going. She does have decreased speed and turn meter reduction on the A1. Even though we take damage from the turn meter reduction, it still works. And then we have a relentless Reliquary Tender, and we have our Mossily Mage in his usual shield set. So with that, we have plenty of heals, right? Assuming you have the right stats for it, but I'll show you a team that has even a less impressive gear that did the exact same thing. It's a little bit slower, but it still works, all right? So the whole concept here is that by being only 4 champions, we're reducing the amount of animations we need to go through. So we're in fact speeding up the run, and you will see that with this, we have now roughly a 4-minute run, and this was my last attempt to kill the Nether Spider at floor 20 with 4 champions. All right, now let's go over the gear of these champions. Starting with my own Drexstar. Now, I might regear Drexstar eventually. I need to first figure out how I'm going to deal with the Frost Spider now with the rework. But overall, he's in very high accuracy gear. So for this, we have a whole lot of perception pieces. We have a reasonable amount of defense, speed, crit rate, crit damage. Doesn't matter a whole lot. But I'm thinking I would want to try and get lifesteal on this guy. I think it would mitigate even more of the damage and hopefully prevent us from dying, because we didn't see the entire run, but he does go down every now and then, and we rely on Sal the Drakes to get him back up. For the time being, he has crit rate gloves. This is not optimal. We do have an accuracy chest piece. This is again for the Frost Spider. We have a defense banner because I have a lot of the accuracy on the gear. So obviously I can work this to be a little bit better. We don't have a ring, apparently. I guess I forgot to do that. The skills are not done on this champion. And then for the masteries, here are the ones that I'm using for now. I suppose going for War Master might be a little bit better. I might do that down the road. I still need to tweak my Drexstar, so don't take this as the perfect setup. Then we're going to do Sal the Drakes. She's been like this for a while now. She's very fast in Relentless. She doesn't have, however, War Master either, so again, it could be sped up a little bit. We have defense percent, speed, accuracy, HP, all the skills are done. This champion is totally worth it. And as for the masteries, here's what I meant. So again, kind of like defense and support. So perhaps eventually I'll try to rework War Master on that champion. Then let's do our trusty Mausoleum Mage. He's absolutely amazing for this. Mine has been in a shield set for a very long time with speed pieces, so total stats we're looking at like 430 resistance, which is decent, but that's usually because I have him in my tag arena teams. 247 speed, 58k HP. We've got HP right here, HP right there, speed. Here we've got resistance, defense, and defense. All the skills are done. And then kind of same thing here, defense and support, because that's sort of what he is. So I don't think I would put War Master on this champ though. And then let's do Reliquary Tender, which I literally had to take out of the vault, and I had to gear her for this. So she has leftover Relentless pieces, but they're a little bit too much offensive. They're not really for a defensive champion, sort of like Sal the Drake. So I would need to create a second similar Relentless set than I have on Sal the Drakes to be really fast on top of being like very defensive, right? Crit rate gloves, not ideal. HP, no defense percent chest, speed boots, then we have defense here. All the skills are done, and no masteries for the time being. So obviously there's room for improvement, but I'm thinking maybe at some point you can even perhaps drop Mausoleum Mage. You could use like 2 Reliquary Tender. It might even work with like 1 Reliquary Tender. Who knows? Maybe you can 3-man this. It'll be up to you guys to let me know. So those are my champions, but now let me show you guys another run, which is from the player on my Discord server. So shout out to BJ the Bomb, or Elvish Ninja in game. We've been on his account before, but this is his run. Pay attention, he has a level 50 Drexstar with only 3 stars of Ascension, a level 50 Reliquary Tender, then we got Mausoleum Mage and Sal the Drakes, and then here's the gear overall of his Drexstar, literally lifesteal and speed. Much lower stats. Look at his accuracy. Mine has like 550, so way overkill for now. But down the road, obviously, he might run into some issues with this Drexstar here. But lifesteal, I think, is probably the way to go. Then we've got a Reliquary Tender in a regeneration set. That works as well. I went with Relentless, but regeneration might work as well. It's up to you guys to, you know, use whatever you have available. And then for the Sal the Drakes, he has her in a stun set. I got mine in a Relentless set. Again, both kind of work. Both are really good for this champion. Mine is in, it has been, sorry, in a Relentless set for a long time. Probably not going to change it. And finally, you have a Mausoleum Mage, which is also in a shield set for him. Good amount of resistance-ish in a sense, and a decent amount of speed there as well. All right, guys. So there you have it. This is how we've been able to beat the Nether Spider so far on the hard Doom Tower. And obviously, there are a lot faster teams. All right, like I literally looked at some of like the teams that were sort of from my clan, right, as you can see right here, but like 4 minutes and 5 seconds, that got me a second place on my clan. But overall in global, people are still nuking this boss, like 2 Septimus, a Duchess, Dracomorph, and a Mashald, which is, by the way, really fantastic. I think a Mashald can solo this boss right now, at least at this stage, all right? So I have a lot of room for improvement, but still, for almost no effort, my 4-man team got me a reasonable 4 minutes. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.